I have to admit, when I heard about Bitcoin, it was very interesting, but there was no Bitcoin company. You couldn't join a Bitcoin company. And so when Ripple came along, it was the first company where there was something to join. I heard about it in a poker game. One of the players at the poker game knew Chris Larson and the crew that was starting Ripple. And so I went to them. I think I was the 10th person at Ripple, said, hey, I think you need a chief risk officer and I can help you with compliance. And people back then were like, well, why would we have to worry about compliance and risk? And I'm like, I got to tell you guys, the regulators, when they hear about this and figure this out, they're going to be coming to you. And so you might want to get ahead of that. And so it was just a chance to be involved in crypto with an actual company where you could go to work, have a desk, sit down and learn more. So I was very fortunate to learn about crypto from some of the early Bitcoin innovators. And they were just trying to create a form of crypto that had two additional fields in the spreadsheet. Bitcoin is just, what account and how much. Ripple added like also what's the currency and who's the issuer. And so it was just the next step. And that was my intro to crypto.
Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And I've had a great day today. And the price action is also agreeing with my mood. Bitcoin is up over 28,000. XRP has a small rise to 50 cents or 4.6% up on the 24. Even had fun in a Cobb stream today. Enjoyed it as much as I have since 2018. And when I got on, he said, I started up the stream and it hasn't crashed that bad. Classic quote. If you don't know, Alex has been famous for years to fire up a live stream and then the price seems to crash once he goes live. Although right now it is holding its own and hanging in there around 50 cents. Yes, on the intro, that was Greg Kidd. He was a former chief compliance officer for Ripple. And I happened to be looking at the Metaco YouTube channel because it's a company that Ripple just acquired. And I happened to find that was uploaded about a year ago. He's going to launch, I think, a pretty successful global ID solution, especially with the coming of Web3. I think it's going to be the right time. He's been sitting on this project for a few years, but I think the timing is just right for him now. And if you need one reason why Ripple paid so much money for Metaco, well, if you go to their value report 2023, you can see that here on page 27, over 3/4 of the global financial institutions are interested in using DeFi to meet their business needs. I can't stress enough how important, if you're interested in where the company Ripple is going, to read these 62 pages. I would expect to see a lot more acquisitions, partnerships, and investments coming from Ripple. And if you want to have some indication of where they're going, I would look at the SBI Group in Japan because they have often led. If you look at this list of 10 companies that SBI has gotten involved with, I'm sure you're going to see some bingos with the same kind of companies for Ripple, like contactless payments companies, investments in data robotic companies, acquisition of a credit rating company, a proof of concept for AI face recognition payments technology, artificial intelligence for financial services, financial foreign exchange services, technology and platform, security token infrastructure, an STO for tokenization of assets. Absolutely, for sure. You can count on that one. Web3 gaming technology, an acquisition of a blockchain research data company, and also I would think that some sort of Web3 wallet or global ID company. Yeah, I think that I'll probably bingo on at least half of these. You do a lot more than buy books at Amazon. This Tranglo partnership impressed me because it is one of the most active in the expansion of on-demand liquidity, which uses the digital asset XRP for cross-border remittances. They have partnered with Al Ansari, the biggest money services provider in the UAE. That's the United Arab Emirates. I have 3 sentences to describe this. 88.5% of the residents in the UAE are expats. 66% of those send money back home. 47.5 billion is the size of that outbound corridor. Moving along, I want to talk about Uphold. They started using the Ledger Vault wallet to custody assets for customers back in May 2019. And while most people finally understand the importance of open source, Ledger products have not been fully open source. Now, they did announce on May 23rd, because of this last debacle, that they're going to accelerate the open sourcing roadmap. And I know for some people, they don't care or they won't research, and they'll find that the Ledger recovery solution is good enough for them. They don't mind rolling the dice with the government, hoping that they will never have to experience what 13,000 Coinbase customers did with a government subpoena. But for a community like the XRP community that has many people who believe the government is going to take their XRP, I'm sure the technology behind the new Uphold Vault wallet is going to be very important. It would surprise me if it wasn't open source. Retail crypto trading is going to start back up on Thursday for Hong Kong, and there's a lot of anticipation to see how that is going to affect the market. I'm very interested in that. There's just 2 exchanges to start that have been given the okay to trade, and they have about 16 different tokens. I listed them on Twitter a couple of days ago. I'm sure that's going to grow, but the rails or the regulation is quite strict, and so those tokens have to jump through a lot of hoops to be listed. But Jemmy here, who's been a fellow YouTuber even a year longer than I have been doing this, she has a channel that dates all the way back to 2017. She is going to now start a broadcast with a radio show, All Things Crypto, exclusively in Cantonese. Now, I know that many of us can't understand her radio show, but you want to follow at Jemmy Crypto to follow what's going on in Hong Kong, because she's going to be on top of it. I have a really quick clip to take you out, which is CZ at Binance. He says a lot of very, I think, spot on points about the space. And he's coming back into Japan, so that's pretty exciting. He is also working closely with France, Italy, and Spain. And he talks about how strong the Middle East is in terms of their regulation advancement. And so it's just good. I think if you're in this space, CZ is one to listen to. And he is right now leading the XRP volume when it comes to this current little spike in price. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
Early January 2023, and you said, I want to try to keep 2023 simple. Spend more time on less things. Here are the do's and the don'ts. Number 1, education. Number 2, compliance. Number 3, product and service. I imagine those are the do's and the don't. Number 4, ignore FUD, fake news, attacks, etc. In the future, would appreciate if you can link to this post when I tweet 4. I want to ask you, CZ, how's it going? Have you been able to keep 2023 simple?
Actually, no. So the flood keeps coming, but now we have got, like, every day I could have tweeted 4 every day. But then luckily now I don't even have to tweet 4. If you look at the news comments on their Twitter comments, everyone else is tweeting 4. So I think the article that post worked out quite well, but it hasn't gone to what I hoped, that we don't really need to tweet 4, just focus on the top 3. So for me, I'm trying really, really hard to just focus on building products, education, compliance, etc. But the FUD keeps coming. Mm-hmm. But after a certain point, the FUD loses its marginal impact, right? So after a media writes 40 negative articles about you, the 41st is not going to have much more. So the marginal impact is lost, and we don't respond to them anymore.
And it's not just a crypto problem. Okay, this is a problem that we have on the internet today. All modern societies are facing this, in that it's very difficult to know what's FUD and what's true. Like we have no truth-finding mechanism.
So I think it's really the fundamental risk management and ability to research and not get simple-minded, just read one article and believe everything in that article, both good and bad. All of those things need to come into play. But we don't teach our kids in school about this, right? So we don't the students are young kids are taught in school to believe what they read. And that is not good. We need to teach more about critical thinking, challenging everything. So we need to drill those skills into young generations. But I think as the technology are providing more information, more access to decentralization, I think all of those things are coming together. Yeah, I think we got to have realistic expectations. The first drafts of regulatory frameworks for crypto are generally going to be more restrictive. They're going to be overly restrictive. We've seen that in Japan. Now, they had a fairly restrictive framework 6 years ago, and now they're loosening up some of the stuff. So, and now Binance is going back into Japan. So, and Hong Kong is now opening up. But I think many places are opening up, and we also just got we together with a local partner in Thailand just got a new license in Thailand. So many places are opening up. We're working very closely with France and Italy and Spain in Europe. And France is putting quite a lot of effort into MiCA. And we think that MiCA is still restrictive, but it's not too bad. It's pretty good. The Middle East regions, Dubai, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, they're all coming up with new they're all revising the regulations over time, and it's going. U.S. is a slightly different situation. There's a lot of lawsuits in the U.S. So it's
Americans like
regulation
the lawsuits.
Yeah, so it's regulation by enforcement. They don't give they think they want to use the guidelines for securities, for commodities, for whatever that was there 80 years ago. They want to use that, and we don't think that's the smartest approach, to be very frank. So it's better to make new regulatory frameworks for new industries. But U.S. so U.S. was good for a while. It was very good banking support for crypto, but now that's gone. So different places are different, and it's important to have multiple players in multiple places trying to push this forward. But I do think though, almost every smart leader will recognize this is a new technology for the future, and they will come around to it.